Yeah, hey Sean. Obviously, a good game from Terrell Bernard in pass coverage, came away with the interception. But how about his development against the run? I'm sure that was a key point of emphasis for him entering the season.
Yeah, through 2 games, I think he's done a nice job, and he's extremely smart, instinctive player, and he's handled it well.
Now, how about Ed Oliver? He seems to have really made an impact over the first 2 weeks when he's working and being as impactful as he's been. How big is that for your defense, and how valuable is he when he's at that level?
Yeah, I mean, when he comes off the ball like he did, in particular that first play of the game yesterday, really, putting the offensive lineman in the lap of the running back, that's when he's at his best, and when he does that, we're in good shape.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, John Worrell. I guess individually, Gabe Davis, and knowing that the frustrations that he went through last year with his injuries and just what he went through, and what does it mean to you to see him step up the way he did yesterday in taking the load off of what was really a complimentary effort by a lot of the receivers in the passing game?
Yeah, good to see that. Gabe works extremely hard at his craft and takes the job very seriously. And some games you're going to have production, some games it's just not going to fall that way. But I love how he stayed after it and made some really big plays for us.
Thank you.
Hi, Sean. More generally speaking, I guess. I mean, there's so much of an overreaction between week 1 or week 2 and the early portion of a season, and it's kind of been one extreme to another for your football team. We talk about forming an identity. I know it's a cliche, but what does yesterday's performance, now that you've looked at the film, maybe represent in terms of that process to reaching and executing an identity? How close are you based on what you've seen?
Well, I think it takes shape over a handful of weeks, really. Maybe it's, 3, 4, 5, maybe sometimes even 6 weeks, just to get a feel for who you are, this team, this year, with the personnel we have this year. And yesterday, I think, was a step in the right direction. Physical at the line of scrimmage, complementing both run and the pass game, and taking the ball away on defense. So it's some of what we want to become. We're not there yet. It is week 2, as you mentioned, Adam, and I think you're spot on with that.
With regard to, you have such an established program and a track record of success. Are you maybe further along in that process? Is there kind of a cumulative effect as each team develops year to year?
You want that to be the case, but if you're not careful, you get out and assume that it's the case, and it's really not, because it really has to be built every year. And it was good to do it in front of our home crowd yesterday. I'll tell you what, they were awesome.
All right, Sean, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, Tim Graham here. I wanted to ask what it's like after a game like that, when so many people contributed in such a good way that everybody gets involved, not only because that's fun to do, but to have it happen so early in the season. You have Cook with the most yards, but each of the other 2 running backs get a touchdown. Kincaid has more yards than Dawson Knox, but Knox gets the touchdown. 9 different receivers. The whole thing about just everybody had got to have fun yesterday. And it's something that is probably really important after a game like Monday night. Can you just maybe explain how that helps an organization for the next, even just a couple days?
Right. I mean, it really speaks of an unselfish approach and a mindset, really, of this is what we're planning to do during the week, and then executing that on game day. I know it sounds easier than it is, but it really starts with a mindset, and then people staying as unselfish as they possibly can throughout the course of the week, when their roles may not be what they want them to be, but also remaining ready to go when their number is called in the game, whether it's early or late.
And then I wanted to ask regarding Spencer Brown. He's a guy who's in the spotlight every week, gets the scrutiny. What did you see from him when you turned on the film? And I guess I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I thought he really had the right mental approach for the game. And when you play Crosby, it's a full day affair, and he's going to go all game long, inside, outside, run into the ball, and you got to be prepared to go all day long, knowing that you're not going to win every contest, every play, but you got to be able to stay mentally tough. And I think that was a huge step for Spencer. Not every play was the way he wanted it to be, but he worked extremely hard and stayed mentally tough throughout.
And just to elaborate real quick, my last question, Sean, do you think, or is that something that he's had trouble with in the past? Maybe holding on to a play too long, and it ends up sticking with him for the whole game.
Well, I think that's just the nature of a young player, really, generally speaking. And again, it's a hard job to play in the NFL, and I mean, you're going against great competition every week, and in particular at a spotlight position like offensive tackle. And there's no one out there that can save you. It's a lot like playing corner on the defensive side. So you've got to have a short memory and be able to reset.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, just a quick injury update. Did you have anything on Leonard Floyd, Micah Hyde, those two guys in particular?
Yeah, just
anybody else?
they'll be day to day. That's the update I have for you today.
And, it's coincidence that I got Tim asked about Spencer Brown. I was actually going to ask you about Osiris Torrance. I know that he got some praise after the first game, despite the outcome, but what have you seen from him as he's kind of slowly grown into this role?
Yeah, very poised, very focused, business-like approach. So for a young player, a rookie in particular in this case, to come in with that type of demeanor, he's given himself a chance to, again, go against good competition and hold his own to this point with the hopes that he'll continue to grow each and every week if he continues with that approach. And this week will be a big test for our offensive line. They've got a very talented, I think, a bunch of high draft picks along their defensive front there.
Thank you, Sean.
Yes, good afternoon, Coach George Radney, Challenger Community News. How are you doing this afternoon?
Good. How are you, George?
Great. Just following up on the that question on Osiris Torrance was one there, but got a different question for you. I noticed Josh Allen yesterday spiked the ball into the ground once the play was blown up. He just boom, spiked it into the ground, similar to a Tom Brady type move. And I'm wondering why is it that's the first time I can ever, in the 6 years he's been quarterback, that I can remember seeing him give up on the play and get ready for the next one. I'm just wondering, why is it taking them so long to realize to use the tools that the NFL has built in to protect the quarterback in today's NFL game?
Yeah, you're very aware and smart with what you saw, what you're talking about. I mean, knowing when a play is basically over before it's over is half the battle playing quarterback sometimes. And being able to say, hey, I'm going to live to play another down. I think that was first down on the one you're referring to. And their defense did a good job of sniffing it out. And so I thought that was a good show of discipline from Josh's standpoint.
Yes, indeed. And hopefully it continues as well. And last point on the defensive side, it seems like the defense tends to give up a big play early in the first two games, and then they tend to settle down. Is that just, you think, nerves or just coming out to start the game a little bit maybe too jacked up, and then they settle down and settle into the game plan?
I think, I just got to put them in a better position a little bit there too, and help them out, and then just execution, right? So it goes hand in hand.
All right, Coach. Thanks for your time. Good luck this coming week.
Okay. Thanks, George.
Hey, Sean. I know you touched yesterday after the game on how the run game's really a team effort, but I was wondering what you did just make of the different running backs yesterday, how they were effective and kind of used their different skill sets to help y'all. Yeah, I was very pleased and impressed with the balance there. Really, they're all similar but all different. I think with
with Tay, you get a lot of veteran leadership, and you could feel him when he went into the game. I think it was maybe on our first or second touchdown, but and all three really pride themselves on the protection, the pass protection piece as well, and catching the ball out of the backfield. So I think they've done a really good job. Coach Skipper's done a good job with them.
And then I was just curious, what was it like rewatching Matt Milano's interception? What did you see when you got to see that from different angles?
Yeah. Again, was as impressed after the game as I was watching it unfold during the game. I actually had a pretty good vantage point to see it unfold, and just amazing. It's weird though, because I almost expected Matt to do that when I saw the position he was in, and he's so strong. People don't give him the credit for his strength, and that's what he did. So that was a great play.
How often do you find yourself thinking something like that might happen, especially when it's as absurd of a play as it was?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a right place, right time. Matt did his part with the coverage aspect, and again, he's so competitive. Like, when he's around the ball, he's got a nasty streak to him, and he's going to do whatever it takes to get the ball away from the player.
Sweet, thanks, Sean.
Yep.
Hey, Sean, it's Jay with the Buffalo News. What did you think of the collective performance of the defensive line yesterday? Obviously, the run defense stats stand out, but it also felt like, even though they didn't get a sack, that they were affecting Garoppolo at times too. Just that entire group's effort. What did you make of it?
Yeah, it started up front with the run game. Let's just start there. They controlled the line of scrimmage, played well at the point of attack, which was a point of emphasis during the week. And, Eric's done a really good job of making sure we establish gap integrity early in the season. And that's something we've got to continue to do every week. And then, no sacks on the stat sheet, but to me, it's really about affecting the quarterback. And when you get your hands up, you tip passes. The ball was already coming out fast. Garoppolo likes to get the ball out fast, and then also uses check downs instead of taking, some of those sacks. So, I thought the guys really did a good job for the most part. We let some third and longs get out a little bit on us, which shouldn't have happened. But we just need to continue to execute in that detail to that down.
Do you get a sense from that group that playing without Von here early in the season, that they are inspired to kind of show that they can do this thing, and then, get even better when he gets back?
Well, I think a lot of, I think they heard a lot about how they didn't do X, Y, and Z from you guys at the end of last season. So you can keep talking. You guys can keep talking about that, and maybe that'll motivate them even more. We'll see.
All right, I'll do my part. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Jay.
Hey, Sean. It's kind of out there now that you challenged the defense yesterday. Is that based on giving up a couple big runs against the Jets? Is it facing them back like Josh Jacobs? What kind of went into your challenge to the defense yesterday?
It's really just about us. Really, had nothing to do with the opponent as much as we respected the opponent last week, and it's really about us trying to continue to grow as a defense. And I thought they really did some good things in that first week of the season this year, but you can't sit where you are and be satisfied with it either. So you got to stay hungry in your approach on a week-to-week basis, really. Even
if it's not talked about, is there a little extra juice when it comes to facing a guy like that? Because I think you guys have done that in the past with guys, like Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb, just hold them in check.
Yeah, I mean, when you take pride in things, and certainly there's good players on the other side of the ball every week, and this week there's another good back or two that Washington has. So it'll be another challenge for us this week, and stopping the run is huge to control the line of scrimmage.